Tampa Bay was booming, a metro of 3.2 million, where median home prices soared to $450,000 and luxury condos sold for over $1 million just 2 years ago. But now, that same paradise is cracking. Inventory's up 40%, builders are panicking, and buyers vanishing. Overnight, one of America's hottest housing markets went cold. How did it all fall apart so fast? The answer starts not with collapse, but with obsession. Tampa Bay's rise was nothing short of electric. The boom rewrote the map of Florida's growth. 5 counties, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Manatee, Sarasota, all exploding with new life. Tampa, Street Pete, Clearwater, Bradenton, Sarasota, each became a magnet for dreamers. Remote workers, retirees, families fleeing taxes, and cold winters up north, they came in waves. From 2020 to 2022, Tampa Bay wasn't just growing, it was on fire. Out-of-state buyers poured in from New York, California, Illinois. They wanted sun, freedom, and a cheaper life, and the region gave it to them. Wesley Chapel, Riverview, Valrico, these quiet suburbs turned into construction zones overnight. Builders raced to pour slabs and frame walls, betting everything on endless demand. And for a while, that bet paid off. By 2022, the median sale price across Tampa Bay hit $450,000. Downtown Tampa's Channel Side and Harbor Island buzzed with luxury. Condos along St. Petersburg's Beach Drive, or Clearwater Beach, regularly sold north of $1 million. Bidding wars became the norm. Buyers offering tens of very pratherast, thousands over asking, sometimes sight unseen. Homes listed Monday, gone by Friday. Even modest houses in Brandon or Palm Harbor fetched prices unthinkable just 3 years earlier. The city's total property value ballooned to over $3 trillion, an empire built on sand and confidence. Developers expanded outward, carving new neighborhoods into wetlands and pasture. Cranes dotted the skyline, their silhouettes as common as palm trees. Everyone believed the good times would never end. It was a fever. The kind that blinds you to the warning signs starting to flicker beneath the surface. And if you want to understand how it all unraveled, subscribe now to get the next chapter before anyone else does. Because while the music played, the clock was already ticking. By early 2022, national builders like Lennar and D.R. Horton were deep into overdrive. They bought up land in bulk, fast-tracked permits, and stacked hundreds of spec homes houses built before buyers were even found. Tampa Bay's suburban edges transformed from cow pastures into cul-de-sacs almost overnight. Speed defined everything. The average home in Hillsborough County sold in less than 10 days. Agents joked that if you blinked, your listing was gone. But that speed hid fragility. By late 2022, the first cracks appeared. Active listings in Hillsborough jumped 35–40% year over year. In Pinellas and Sarasota, similar surges followed as new construction flooded the market just as buyers began to pull back. Suddenly, builders who once couldn't keep up were drowning in inventory. Empty spec homes piled up, streets lined with "for sale," signs that just wouldn't move, so they started cutting deeply. Mortgage buydowns dropped rates to 4.5%. Closing cost credits, free appliance packages, 10 to 15% price cuts just to keep projects alive. Behind the scenes, internal memos from major builders told the story, move inventory at any cost. The gold rush had ended and the cleanup had begun. And then came the knockout punch, insurance. By 2024, major carriers like State Farm and Allstate began pulling out of Tampa Bay altogether. Tens of thousands of homeowners opened their mailboxes to find non-renewal notices. Their only remaining lifeline was Citizens Property Insurance, the state's last resort. By mid-2025, over 200,000 homes across the region were covered by Citizens, but that lifeline came at a price. Premiums skyrocketed. What once cost $3,000 a year now costs $7,000 or $8,000. Along the coast, it's even worse, $10,000 or more annually, even for homes built decades ago. A $350,000 house in Tampa now comes with an insurance bill that adds nearly $600 a month before taxes, utilities, or HOA fees. Lenders won't close a loan without proof of insurance, and when buyers see the real cost, many just walk away. Mortgage underwriters reject applications outright if the insurance pushes debt ratios too high. Citizens' premiums run 30 to 50%, higher than the private market ever did, and yet they're the only option left. For many families, the math simply stopped working. A $500,000 home with a $12,000 annual insurance bill? That's not the Florida dream, that's financial quicksand. Local agents estimate nearly a third of buyers have already walked away because of insurance sticker shock. And here's where everything shifts the psychology of the market. Because once people stop believing they can afford to live somewhere, the collapse becomes self-fulfilling. And though few are saying it out loud, everyone feels it the same. Quiet dread that comes before a downturn becomes a crisis. The same way 2008 started not with panic, but with whispers. Because what's about to happen next will determine whether Tampa Bay rebuilds or breaks for good. So, subscribe. It wasn't just money that scared insurers, it was Mother Nature herself. When Hurricane Ian hit in 2022, Tampa Bay dodged the eye. But even the near miss revealed its weakness. Streets in South Tampa and Pinellas County flooded as rain bands passed through. Damage across the state topped $112 billion, and insurers took notice. Scientists at the University of South Florida have modeled what would happen if a Category 4 or 5 storm hit Tampa directly. The results are chilling. 15 to 20 feet of seawater surging straight into downtown Tampa, Channelside, and Harbor Island. Neighborhoods like Davis Islands, Apollo Beach, Paso Grill, and Sand Key submerged. Entire communities wiped off the map. Even critical infrastructure isn't safe. Tampa General Hospital sits right in the projected surge zone. Power plants, bridges, evacuation routes, all at risk. For decades, the absence of a major hurricane since 1921 lulled people into a false sense of security. But the data doesn't lie. Tampa Bay is now labeled the most surge-vulnerable metro in the entire United States. And that knowledge reshapes everything insurance: pricing, buyer psychology, and long-term value. Every storm warning triggers fresh anxiety. Each time a new system forms in the Gulf, open houses go quiet. The market now lives in a constant state of suspended fear, where one hurricane could erase billions overnight. By the summer of 2025, that fear had turned into fallout. Median home values across Tampa Bay fell to $362,000, erasing years of growth. In St. Petersburg, prices dropped nearly 8% year over year. Sarasota saw $500,000 homes barely fetching $425,000. Waterfront mansions once listed for $2 million now sat unsold for half a year, with desperate sellers slashing $100,000 just to get a showing. And in the condo market, things got even darker. This isn't just a story about Tampa. It's a warning for every booming city that thinks the good times will never end. The tide always comes in, and it always leaves something behind. So stay tuned, because the next chapter of Florida's housing reckoning is only just beginning. Subscribe, and let's keep uncovering how these markets rise, fall, and rebuild before the next wave hits.